In Iron Man Enter the Mandarin, we have the appearance of the true Mandarin, not as seen in the Iron Man movies, but mostly what we saw in Shang-Chi. From this 6-issue miniseries, we will take it off from the second issue, where the clash between Iron Man and the Mandarin is on. The Mandarin in the comics is one of Tony Stark's most formidable enemies. The Mandarin claims to be a descendant of Genghis Khan. Mandarin visited the Valley of Spirits in search of his destiny. What he found there was an alien ship, and inside it 10 rings, which granted him supernatural powers. Decades later, the Mandarin made his appearance in China. The United States, worried of the Mandarin's growing influence, sent Iron Man to deal with him. And so the battle begins. Iron Man and the Mandarin send energy blasts against one another, while the Mandarin remarks that up until now, no one had dared confront him. Mandarin calls Iron Man a fool, while Iron Man just tells him to keep talking, while he sends another energy blast towards him. Mandarin seems to be unaffected, so Iron Man pantses him with 87.2% more power, but Mandarin blocks Iron Man's punch, and with a swift strike of his elbow, he strikes Iron Man right in the face. While Iron Man tries to recover, Mandarin calls him an errand boy. Well, he's a visionary. Iron Man's data analysis detects a strange surge of energy, and his shoot warns him of danger. While the Mandarin strikes Iron Man, he asks what he was told, that Mandarin disturbs the balance, that he doesn't fit the globalization scheme. Iron Man is on the ground and repairs his foot thrusters. He turns them on, and Mandarin is blasted and falls to the ground. Iron Man's reply is that he answered most of his questions, whether he's a real threat or not. Mandarin falls on his back and strikes Iron Man with another energy blast. Mandarin reminds him that he comes from a bloodline filled with violence and conquest, and that the West can't have it all. He attacks Iron Man with his fists. The shoot warns of danger once again, and Iron Man falls to the ground. Mandarin strikes again, declaring that Iron Man's technology is no match for him. Iron Man transfers what is left of the suit's energy to a last-ditch effort in 5, 4, 3, 2. Mandarin suspects what's about to happen, but doesn't have time to react. A huge blast levels the building. Mandarin rises uninjured from the rubble and gazes at the night sky. Iron Man flies away towards the full moon. Mandarin's last comment is that the American managed to escape death for now. After this epic battle, hours later, in one of Stark's buildings, Iron Man is undergoing repairs while reading a mail from Pepper. The mail says that no one is allowed inside the building, not even his personal bodyguard. Pepper wishes him to enjoy his personal time. The sensors estimate Tony's condition and begin the repairs. Tony replies to Pepper while he lets himself in the care of the machines. Meanwhile, Mandarin is speaking to one of his servants and says that his battle with Iron Man is merely the beginning of a war. The servant believes that this is not Mandarin's destiny, but Mandarin insists. Mandarin believes that the Iron Man is merely a puppet and his true enemy is Stark. Mandarin orders his servant to inform his agents in North America of the situation. Later on, Pepper sees light in Stark's office. Tony is too early, and she checks on him. Tony's face is filled with gauze, and she is shocked. Tony assures her that it is nothing serious. Later in the theater, Mandarin's agents are looking to recruit Ebenezer Lawton, ex-con and artist. Ebenezer is not certain that he wants to return to a life of crime, and speaks ill of Mandarin. Mandarin's agent grabs Ebenezer by the throat and tells him to treat the master with respect. Ebenezer frees himself from the agent and proves himself that he is ready for what they need him. The agent presents him with a suitcase. Later, in Tony's office, Tony still recovers from his injuries and needs to cancel his date with a supermodel. Tony asks Happy to make an excuse. Happy asks Pepper to make an excuse, and Pepper tells the supermodel that Mr. Stark is busy. The supermodel is irritated and asks who he thinks he is, and Pepper says that this is a very good question. Meanwhile, Stark discovers that someone is trying to hack his database and has broken his encryption. The hacking is done from inside the building. Someone had the nerves to break in, so he must be dealt with. Tony and Happy enter the database room, and they are attacked by black crows. Happy asks from whoever is in there to give himself up. Scarecrow isn't willing to surrender, and Happy attacks. Scarecrow dodges Happy's attack and grabs him by the throat. Tony puts on the Iron Man suit and tells himself that but this is a mistake. The suit agrees as it doesn't suggest battle mode. Scarecrow is about to slit Happy's throat while Iron Man enters the room. Want to know what happens next? Tell me in the comments. This story had an interesting battle and an even more interesting artwork. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you all on the next one.